Dynamic Host Configuration Protocol is a TCP/IP standard for simplifying the management of IP in the host computers. And we know that from TCP/IP network there is a unique computer name and an IP address. The IP address also with a subnet mask. So here it means like dynamic host, which means automatic. Dynamic means automating. Host here means computer. So the dynamic host configuration protocol is a type of protocol that should be in the client as well as the server. The client is nothing but the computer that is connected to the local network, and the server is in the server it is like a services that has to be enabled, and it contain a list of all the IP address in it. If number of computers connected, if for example if there are 100 computers connected to the local area network, the 100 computers IP address will be those informations will be in the DHCP table. That's a IP address database table. So from that IP address, the dynamic host configuration server will will give you an IP address once the system is turned on. Once when all the one or two systems are turned off, the IP address is made to be reserved and it is used later to any other host. So and also the IP address is not a static one here. It is a dynamic, so it automatically assigns. Static means we assign IP address to one computer which will not change. So this is a kind of dynamic host. So the IP address will not change. Here is the example. So here you have a server, DHCP server, and you have three clients. And there is in these three clients, there is one client might be there is no network connectivity or no cables in it, or it can be also like DHCP is not enabled. The service is not enabled in this client. Assume like that, and the DHCP server, as I said before, it contains a database of a list of all the IP address. So the IP address 1 is reserved to the first DHCP client computer. The IP address 2 is allocated to the second DHCP computer here. And the third is ready to give from the database by the server to a client, but this is a non-DHCP client. Due to some reasons, might be a network failure or there is no connectivity between the cables, might be any reason, but here set as an example, there is an IP address reserved here for any computers that is connected to the network. So once if either of these two computers are turned off, that IP address also get reserved here. So this is what DHCP means. It dynamically gives an IP address to all the host computers within your local network. Benefits of DHCP: safe and reliable configuration. Here, reliable means a trusted network. So it is safe and a reliable configuration here. So here, when a computer is idle or it doesn't need an IP address, assume that a computer is turned off, and that IP address is made to be reused to configure to a new computer within the network. So the IP address which is existing is being always reused, and the address is also conflict doesn't happen, like same IP address giving to two or three computers is not possible, so no error will occur in this DHCP, and reduces the configuration management. So here there is everything is completely automated, and the DHCP also releases the process to the client computers. So it has to be need to be updated often, and it also does automatically. A frequent upgradation also happens in DHCP, so that it makes sure that all the IP addresses are reserved. It does things in an efficient manner and an automated way. so that the client communication is directly only with the DHCP server. The DHCP client and the server communication is done with a process named as DORA, D-O-R-A. D stands for discover, O stands for offer, R stands for request, A stands for acknowledgement. So in this DORA process, initially the client computer gives a request, or it tries to uh, discover, like a broadcast one, like it tries to search for a network initially. So once when the computer is on, and when you try to connect, the TCP first tries to connect to the network. That time the server gives an offer that I am available here. Give me a request so that I can process. And the DHCP client, when it understands that there is a network available, it gives a request to the DHCP server so that the server understands and checks whether it is a right client computer within the network, and then it gives an acknowledgement back to the client. So this is what happens in DHCP, the DORA process. D for discover, O for Oscar, O for offer, R for request, A for acknowledgement. So this is DORA. And the DHCP, in order to briefly explain, the DHCP stands for Dynamic Host Configuration Protocol, which automatically assigns an IP address to the client computer while it is turned on. While it is not turned on, the IP address is reserved and it is reused to another computer when another computer or another client is turned on. So this kind of service should be enabled in the client as well as the server, and the client and the server works by DORA process. So this is all DHCP all about.